Hello again. Today we're going to be looking at a United States Federal Reserve note of a $500 bill, and it looks something like what we have here. And bring this up a little closer. What we have here, again, is a United States Federal Reserve note, $500 bill. It's real. It's not fake. This note actually used to be used commonly between banks more than between populations. Obviously, $500 bills, $500 bill back in 1934, the money was worth a lot, and people just didn't carry this kind of money in their pocket. Many people didn't even carry $100 bills. But then again, with the stock market crash, people started hoarding their money, so then, of course, they started hoarding these as well. Even though the Federal Reserve has not made a demand to collect these notes, anytime any one of the banks receives these notes from the population, what they do in turn is they collect them and then they send them to the Federal Reserve to be destroyed, which makes the worth of this $500 bill among numismaticians much more profitable. It's much more worth than the $500 as its face value. It's worth more than that. Mine currently holds a circulation value of $650, so it's worth $150 more than what it actually is at face value. Only amongst dealers, really. Let me describe to you what some of the features are on the $500 bill note. We have President William McKinley on this note. He's the 25th President of the United States. He was assassinated, and Theodore Roosevelt became the 26th and the youngest man to ever become president. Not elected, again, he took over through assassination. So, McKinley was assassinated, Teddy Roosevelt became president. What we have here is we've got the new Federal Reserve sign. Now, if you remember the $20 gold certificate and you haven't seen it, you might want to check it out. There was no Federal Reserve note on it, I should say seal on it, because it wasn't a Federal Reserve note. So this says G. G. There's a specific letter for every one of the 12 branches of the Federal Reserve. G is, I believe, Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, G is located in Chicago, so it's the Federal Reserve branch in Chicago. This note was printed and circulated from the Federal Reserve note and Federal Reserve building, I should say, in Chicago. It's series 1934. Its signatures are, I should say, Spielman again. Actually, it's Julian for the treasurer, and it's Morgenthau for the secretary of treasury. Series of 1934. The Federal Reserve note seal again is the old seal in Latin is underneath the $500 sign here, and at the bottom, as you can see, it says, "Will pay the bearer in demand $500." And at the top it says the United States, Federal Reserve note, the United States. Of course it has, actually I should say right over here, it has the debt practice and the meaning of the Federal Reserve note. And on the back, we just have the typical $500 in numeric value written in the United States of America. And the design on the back is much greener than, and is filled and is brighter than today's green. So we wouldn't call these greenbacks. Again, greenbacks were notes circulated during Abraham Lincoln's tenure in office and a little bit after that. And those were referred to as greenbacks. Those are really green as well. But not every note is a greenback just because it has an actual greenback. So greenbacks are specific notes that were printed in the 1860s, 1870s, and so on. Again, not much of a design on the back. In the series of 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, and $100,000 bill, usually on the back of it will be written just the number. There's no specific design, especially from the series of 1934. And that's the last time there was a $500 bill, a $1,000 bill, and so on with the higher amounts in currency. That's the last time that these were printed. So these are big, big, big collector's items. Again, if you want me to bring this to class, I need a majority of you guys to let me know, and we could take a look at it in detail. And mind you, back then they didn't have much security features on these notes, so it was just basically the government, as it does today, has copyright on this type of paper it prints on. So back then what they used to look at was the fibers and the feel of the paper money, because they didn't use credit cards. So they knew what money looked like and felt like, and more than that, they knew when they were scanned with paper money, because people used to take a look at it with a better eye back then. Today, we lack in that area, so we use markers and the such to detect bad currency in circulation, or I should say counterfeit currency. Again, this is an original $500 Federal Reserve note from 1934 series, and I've kept it in very good condition. If it was in excellent condition, uncirculated condition, or gem uncirculated, it would be worth much, much more. It would be worth at least 4 or 5 times its face value. So, again, if you want to collect these kind of notes, you can. It's easy. The first step is you can go to your local bank and ask if they have different types of notes. And sometimes they will. And they're just being ready to get shipped to the Federal Reserve to get destroyed. So, but banks don't usually refuse your request if you want to trade in money for the face value of the note. For instance, I paid $500 for this $500 bill note because that's what it's worth, and which is a great deal because, again, its face value is different than what it's actually worth amongst auctioneers and collectors. So that's the benefit. And the next series will be coming up shortly, and we'll take a look at another type of note. And thank you for taking a look at today's collection from my numismatic collection. It's a $500 Federal Reserve note, series 1934.